And welcome back, Pete FETTIG. We are now at KARATBARS University, first hour on Tuesdays. And I just got my tickets to go to the, the LA Center up in Los Angeles near the Staples Center, to the a big conference, actually, of KARATBAR. I call a KARATBAR elite, if you want to call it, or those who are really making the business run. And these are people that are single moms at home, people that are retired, people that actually are in business already. It's amazing, the range of people. And, of course, this is now April 9th. I'll be going up there to the Saturday dinner and conference in Los Angeles at the Staples Center, right beside the Staples Center at the Marriott. So, Pete, we're getting a lot of really successful people joining KARATBARS. And I want people to know the individual things about that make KARATBARS so unique. Number one, there's 6 or 7 other companies selling gold in the gram. Gold, if you want to buy gold and silver coins or silver or gold, you can buy it at a very easy price, but then you have to exchange it for a fractional reserve currency. KARATBARS is gold-backed currency, which is really unique. In fact, I just read that Japan is going to try to start taxing the Bitcoin currency for transactions in Japan. I don't know how you can tax a transactional currency that's based on the algorithms. Bitcoin came in and people thought, well, it won't go anywhere. There's 12 cryptocurrencies now, but they're extremely inferior, and so is even gold and silver to KARATBARS. So are all these other companies that sell gold in the gram, but don't build a network, don't allow you to build a business by helping other people join, don't allow the currency exchanges around the world. There's so many advantages to KARATBARS, it's amazing. Let's go through some of the advantages to KARATBARS to any other currency, any other home business, any other system of getting independent and having, in a sense, insurance for your money and your savings.
That's a great way to start. And I would have to say that the KARATBARS was they recognized that people can't afford to cough up, $1,200 or more for an ounce of gold at one time. So by providing gold by the gram, they're making it affordable for the average person.
Right.
And so I'm not saying it's the lowest price, but it is affordable for the average person. So the average person can now actually participate and accumulate gold and cost average their way to an actual portfolio in gold and preserve their wealth and purchasing power. So those are a couple of reasons right there. And, of course, gold preserves your wealth, and there's no other way to do that, including cryptocurrencies and some of the other elements that might be out there. You can do that with perhaps gems like diamonds and so forth, but they're not consistent. They're all different. With gold, of course, you have one size that people can exchange. It's a common denominator, and it's priced at a point that the average person can get involved, knows what he's getting, knows where it's coming from, knows where he can spend it and use or trade it. So those are a couple of the important that are involved here. The other point is that I'd like to make is that to be more than just a customer here, and that's in the gold industry. There are many people that are starting to offer gold by the gram, like KARATBARS is offering, but KARATBARS is the only company that is putting together a network of savers, just like you and I, that are actually accumulating gold, and also a network of merchants that are willing to accept that same KARATBARS gold as a form of payment for their good businesses. So it's effectively a two-pronged approach, and it's a way towards a gold economy. Something that can't be devalued. It's going to hold its value, and it has for centuries and centuries. It's always been real money, and that's something that it can't be printed. It can't be printed out of thin air. So it's under control of governments and we're going to try and control it.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, what are the advantages, do you think, to the average person to say, hey, for me, number one, it's a business so you can get in with no cash. It builds a downline. You help other people if you spend half an hour a day, and you do need it at work. It's like, let's put it this way. You can't set up a business where you sell sandwiches in a mobile truck that could make a lot of money unless you actually get the material to make the sandwiches, get up early in the morning to get all your stuff together, drive to the place where you're going to make the sandwiches and start making them. You have to put in some time. And it doesn't mean a lot of time. Half an hour a day, 4 days a week is enough to actually start building a network in 12 weeks that you'll be proud of, that you'll actually start building a network. But you have to make a list of people that you think are good candidates, that they could get a $1 million business at minimal cost to get in, that want to build a network, that want a residual income, that want to actually get themselves out of the fractional reserve currencies, and then just show them that you're there to hold their hand, act as training wheels, to show them how to do a sizzle call, how to refer on with care group team to the videos, how to, do the business, how to actually share this system so that they can build a network and get some financial security down the road.
That's correct. That's correct. We have an immense site, a care group team. And this is a place that you can go to learn everything there is to know about how to build that business.
Exactly, yeah.
There are many tools. There are many things to learn. So it'll guide you through the whole process. And of course, you have your upline, the people that are already involved. For instance, Dr. Bill and so forth, all the way upline, all the way to the company, and
right.
And so you have resources that will help you build. They have a vested interest in helping you build and build, because the better you, the better they do, of course. So everybody wins, and that's what's so nice. This is structured.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation, in other words. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a win-win. Well, I can tell you we have a number of people we've sponsored since we started last summer that are already building a significant business. Professor McCanney, we've got a gentleman by the name of Keno who has a fruit stand in New York City, who's an excellent businessman. It doesn't matter your background. You can be a single mom at home, or you can be a retired dentist, or you can be a financial broker or a movie producer. It doesn't matter who you are. And the neat thing about this is that you'd be surprised that once in a while you'll get what's called a geo. Those are people that really immediately get the business, absorb the wherewithal, how to do it immediately, and just run with it. And those are exciting when you get those people. And you want to be there to support them. When we come back, we'll continue. And by the way, if you have calls about KARATBARS and want to know more, call us at 800-259-5791. 800-259-5791. We'll be back in just a moment with Pete FETTIG. So, Pete, I think we have a better Skype connection now, so we'll be able to talk more about helping people. This year, we're seeing a lot of things. On the geopolitical realm, we're seeing a lot of revolt on both the Democratic side, supporting Bernie Sanders, and on the Republican side, Trump. Just want to make a side comment. Trump's competitor, Ted Cruz, is very intelligent, but he's a liar and a snake in the grass, and this man is totally in the back pocket of Goldman Sachs, and his wife is on leave from Goldman Sachs and is going back. She's also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Now, what's happening is people in every realm, including around the economy, are starting to get fed up with the system, whether it's the medical system, the financial system, etc., and they know that the game is rigged. If you're involved with fractional reserve currency, even if you're buying gold and silver, you're buying with it with a fractional reserve funny money that's printed on paper. Paper is as good as toilet paper, in a sense. In fact, one of the gags that I gave a couple of years ago, to someone for their Christmas. One of their Christmas stocking stuffers was a toilet roll with the picture of Barack Obama on it. A pretty good one, hey? Now, people don't realize that real money is only fractionally, slightly above that. It only has a higher, what I call hardness index of the paper. The fact is that when you're using fractional reserve currency, even if you're buying gold and silver coins or other things, it's all denominated in that currency, including your pension funds, your mortgage of your house, etc. If you don't have something that is more solid, which is why all the big bankers and all the big countries are buying gold like crazy behind the scenes, and the price of gold they can't hold down anymore, can they? It started to go back up again recently, didn't it?
Yep, that's correct. That's correct. It's there's even been articles about how the manipulation game is probably coming to a close, and you're going to see gold start to rise, and this year maybe a real pivotal year in terms of what happens with the value of precious metals in terms of paper. It is kind of a curious and on the surface humorous thing to think about when you first look at it, which is, the value of gold is evaluated in terms of a paper currency which is worthless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now the problem with even buying silver coins is you have to exchange it back for fractional reserve currency. And at the moment, the dollar is holding stronger than the other currencies, but they're all falling. It's like they're falling at differential rates. So what people should understand is there's a very high probability with the derivatives market, with the price of oil so low, that the bond market's going to blow out this year. There's a high probability that if anything militarily happens in Syria, that the supply of oil from the Middle East is going to seriously be affected. We see Europe basically, most of their economy falling apart, and most of the European nations wanted to get out of the European Union. Even strong nations like Germany are, they're like of two minds. They want to sort of be in Europe, some of the leaders, and some of them want to say, look, this is hampering us and holding us back from expanding our economy. They want to have more alliances with Russia. So what I see happening is if people don't insure their money, they're going to find that the value of their fractional reserve U.S. dollars or any other currency in the world is going to drop even faster. So if you're listening to this in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the Canadians are already suffering. Their dollars dropped about 30%. That's a lot, isn't it? And they're just next door, just north of the 49th parallel. So I think what people should realize is if you don't insure your money, which is to get out of fractional reserve currency, you're going to suffer. Now you might think, well, I have a lot of money. Well, that lot of money can be chopped in half, or it can be bailed in, because if your money's in one of these big banks that's too big to fail, they'll make sure one of the procedures they do is to actually give you, quote, a haircut. And I get a kick out of these euphemistic terms. The haircut, unfortunately, the blade for the haircut is set below your chin. It's more like a guillotine, a financial guillotine, than a haircut. What do you think, Pete? Pretty funny. So I think what we're dealing with is we have now an election year. The direction the country takes is either going to fix the economy and bring back jobs and put up tariffs and lower tax rates for corporations and lower taxes for middle class and get health care affordable and get it off the back of companies to say we're going to fine you if you have more than 50 employees if you don't have them health insurance because they made it too expensive. We're not making health care a right, which I agree on the technical step that Bernie Sanders says it should be a right because you're a human. But Bernie doesn't have the brains to figure out how to do it and actually afford to do it. He's a typical communist. We just want to do this. Well, you can't just do this. You have to have a plan. How do you expand the economy so you can do that? How do you bring back jobs? How do you stop Carrier from leaving the United States and going to Mexico? How do you stop, car corporations so they will move their car manufacturer here back to Detroit? How do you keep? And you can't just have a, quote, a service economy. You have to have an economy where you make goods and services and technology, and you graduate more engineers and technicians and people that can put things together. like the iPhone. If you want people put together, well, you also need to have money. And that money, the new currency, I think, is going to become, in the next few years, KARATBARS. KARATBARS will transition where we're going to have kiosks, where it's going to transition to where people will actually go online or use it as their currency. So for credit cards, they'll have a KARATBARS card. We have K-Exchange that's coming up in their new stages here that's going to change things completely. So I think we lost Pete there for a second, or either that or he had something happen. We lost our connection. Are you there, Pete? No, I don't think I hear him. By the way, this hour is important for people out there that are doing KARATBARS, or if you're interested in you've been listening for a matter of the last number of months, 6 months plus, call in if you have a question about KARATBARS. How easy is it to do it? I had a gentleman who's a good friend of mine who's been listening to the show since we started many years ago, and he called and he wanted to say, well, I said, do you think I should be doing KARATBARS? I said, I thought you were doing it already. You're kidding. You haven't been doing it? Why didn't you get into it last year? We'd already have a big network for you. Because what we do is we actually will... we have Pete back. We had one gentleman, and we were talking about Pete, where he's a good friend of mine, and he was in New Mexico, and he called. He said, I think I should do KARATBARS. How much of my pension fund can I roll over like a 401k? I said, you're kidding. I said, you don't just roll your money over. You're trying to build a network. What you should do is buy a gold package, start building a network, and if you have some dispensable income, move some of it into KARATBARS, but you don't have to move it all. The key issue is what you got to do is you got to get out of debt. You got to get yourself in a situation where you're storing a portion of your non-discretionary income as KARATBARS, but you got to build a network of people that you help them succeed. So don't sit on the sidelines. We send you people just by being part of our network. We're there to help you with trainer wheels. There's no excuse for not thriving in this system with our help. We are one of the most dynamic wings of KARATBARS in the world. And, as I say, on April 9th, I'm going up there because we received awards already in just the last 6 months. So hang in there and we'll help you. Okay, Pete, we're back. And one of the things I think that I'd like to go through are the basics. Firstly, when we first started at KARATBARS, we realized, this seems almost too good to be true. All you have to do is make a list of people, explain it, because I'm not shy, explain the sizzle call, which is usually done by a professional upline. We use Den Jerome's sizzle call, 5 minutes. If the person's interested, say, hey, I can buy a gram of gold, I can get a membership. And they make a list, and you can literally do the sizzle call 3-way. And then simply send them an email. If you're interested, we'll call you back tomorrow, get their fraud and security department on with their credit card, get them to purchase a plan, put in your Know Your Customer documents, which are, by the way, 2 separate documents to prove that you have an address, a physical address, so you're a real person. And there's 2 separate documents you need to put in there. Don't put them as one. It's scanned, otherwise it'll hold it up, because the Germans they're stickly with details. If you don't do it right, it's going to hold it up for days or weeks. And simply join. And it's amazing how fast the system grows, isn't it? Once you do the same thing for your people downline, email them or call them weekly. The best way is just to email them and say, if you need help, if you have any questions, email or call me. And you can even do Skype connections and just add a person worldwide to try to help their downline. Say, do you want to listen to this sizzle call? We can play it. So it's a pretty neat system. It allows people to literally cross borders, to work worldwide and to build a network and have their unilevel and bi-level system deposited every Friday in their KARATBARS account. They can purchase gold. They can purchase business cards and other things for marketing their own KARATBARS business, but also they can just sign up in the back as a vendor for whatever service they provide. If they're an electrician in Ohio, if they're a tutor for German in California, if they're a medical legal secretary to transcribe medical legal reports somewhere, they can actually put this on the KARATBARS network, and people can buy and sell those services in KARATBARS. That's pretty neat, isn't it? I think we lost our connection again with Pete, so we're going to have to reconnect. Reconnection. He's having definitely Skype problems today. So one of the things that I found with KARATBARS, it was so simple. It's almost like went under instead of over people's heads. It was like That's too simple. It's too easy to do that. That you can actually make a system. Nitsa Nakos, who was in Vancouver last year, built a network of almost 18,000 people in 1 year. 18,000. Now, she's unusual, but she actually just used a system. She obviously didn't contact 18,000 people. She was a trainer of trainers, of people that would say, hey, how do you do these simple steps I just mentioned? How do you build a network? How do you get on the phone or Skype or email or contact or go on, media to contact people and just tell them to share the business. Save in gold, back currency, get in the K exchange. Eventually this will become a full-fledged currency doing, purchasing goods and services worldwide. You can even open up an eBay account, or you can set up your own web store and purchase and buy and sell things in KARATBARS. You can do that now. When it becomes available, we will be able to sell nutraceuticals even in KARATBARS. And that's coming sometime this year. The K exchange is on its way. So what I think is really cool about this is it's going to allow it to have a currency that's not going to be manipulated by governments or by financial exchanges or by the IMF, who is constantly, manipulating world currencies. We now have two reserve world currencies, the yuan, the Chinese currency, and the Fed Reserve note. Well, that causes problems, especially when the two major financial powers are not cooperating with each other, and they are trading with each other or trying to trade, because if they don't trade, their economy gets killed. The Chinese are primarily manufacturers, we're consumers. So we've got to have a system set up where it's a win-win situation, but that doesn't exist right now. So the currencies are going to get hurt. And if you happen to be, it's almost like they say, if you're a cockroach in the stadium with a bullfighter and a bull, you won't want to end up under the heels of the bullfighter or under the hooves of the bull. You want to be protected against that. So it's a little humorous, but it's also a little scary to realize that this happens. Now, I've got some new links up there under KARATBARS that I want people to know about that I got from Pete. And these are kind of exciting. We have some, of course, nice sizzle call numbers like Dan Jeromo's sizzle call, which is about 5 minutes. We have some new links up the bottom here. These are from Christine, one of the senior people in KARATBARS. And it shows how to get the best price. It talks about a VIP video, step 2 below, and the products like $50 to $100 products, and how you can get these KARATBAR Gold for 15% less than the cost of 1 gram at a time. And it talks about watching the VIP 100 video. So we've got links there to KARAT Group Team for these different steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got links up there that show the KARAT Group Team, which is one of the best training videos. We've got KARATBAREvents.com, so you can go to different events online. At KARATBARSwebinar.com. Training phone number 712-432-0075, and with a PIN. Weekly Monday to Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern training. We've got YouTube video links up there. We've got the 10 steps that Michelle worked out last fall. Basically, go to Nutrimedical Associates, click on the KARATBARS link, go into registration, become an affiliate, and how you you're going from the Nutrimedical 7, which is my personal site. We have also put our own family under there as well. My sons, other staff as well, under KARATBARS. And when you build up what's called one leg, is called the power leg, and then the second leg is your banking leg, the other leg. And that's where, if you join us, we're going to help build your power leg under yourself. You'll start to have people. In fact, we had one gentleman who had signed up and had trouble with his KARATBAR documents, and he wanted to start getting paid, and he realized we'd already put something like 47 people under him. He said, I want to get involved. I said, well, you got to get your KARATBAR documents, your KYC documents straightened away, and then get rocking and rolling, because once you build 25 points on one side, if you got 50 on the other side, you're going to cycle, and the money's going to be deposited in your account. So he realized, all I have to do is that. I said, yeah, that's all you got to do is make sure you get your documents properly set up to KARATBARS people in Stuttgart, Germany, and just start building people on that other side and just signing them up. You can do it automatic, or you can assign specific individuals that you know are building the business. You can put people under them. It becomes really, really simple. So I think it's important for people to start grasping that it's a doable business that's so simple. When we look, for example, at recorded PGR, it's another way to actually see, the whole panorama of the business. If you go to Dan Geromo's sizzle call number, and I'll give that number on air here, it's 972-725-7707. The Care Group Team sizzle call number is 707-501-4090. If you listen to this and the Care Group Team calls 4 minutes, Dan Geromo, who's a master at this business, unfortunately passed away around Christmas time. But he managed to build a business while he had serious heart disease. I mean, that shows you how amazing this business is. You can be disabled, and you can be building a tremendous business. He was one of the top, if you want to call it, evangelists for KARATBARS in the world. And you can actually go to the training videos. These are all free, by the way. 712-432-0075 with a PIN 934758 #. And Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, you can listen to the videos. So we have all these tools here for you, and we're upline waiting here. All you have to do is call us or Skype or email us, and we're here to help. Nutrimedical report. I want to go over some of the other news that's going on right now. Of course, Iran threatens a walk from the nuclear deal. That's going on in the news. We'll talk about that in the third hour with Tim Alexander. Obama is to skip the Nancy Reagan funeral, which I think is pretty obscene, heading to a festival instead. Of course, we have the second Super Tuesday going on today. And of course, a new test tonight as to who's going to be the leader. We have, Donald Trump, and we have Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz, I believe, is very intelligent, but he's also very crooked. This guy's in the back pocket of big business. He's part of the establishment. So we really have a fight between the establishment and these outlier candidates on the Republican side, Donald Trump, and Bernie Sanders on the Democratic side. And the rest is what I call the single party. What's going to happen is that we need to rebuild the economy. We need to rebuild infrastructure. We need to rebuild the idea that everybody should have health care that's affordable. What Obamacare has done is harm business and harm affordability of health care. It's also taking a lot of money out of the pockets. Basically, the average person in the public hasn't had a raise in 12 years, but taxes and cost of living have gone up. So, in fact, negatively, people are actually having less dispensable wealth. And if you want to reverse that, one of the things you can do is get into KARATBARS. If you start saving a gram a month, which, by the way, at the time of the Weimar Republic, a gram would buy you a vehicle. It's interesting, if you do comparisons, a gram of gold back in 1922 would buy you 20 loaves of bread, and $1 would buy you 20 loaves of bread. But $1 now will buy you like a third of a loaf of bread, and a gram of gold will still buy you 20 loaves of bread. Isn't that interesting? And our gold is actually starting to go up in price. It's starting to go up in price. And what people should start to understand is that as gold starts to go up in price, it means that the system is so broken it can't even keep the price of gold down so that the globalists can buy more gold. That's one of the really bad signs. So I think what we're dealing with is a situation where this year a lot of things are going to happen in the geopolitical realm, on the physical realm, on the military realm, and I think it's important that people get involved now. You can't lose. I mean, you get a membership for a pittance. You can start off at the lower level bronze, and you can move up to silver or gold. You know that we're going to help build a network for you. We're going to help you get your system going. All you have to do is commit to some time daily to talk to your people downline, make sure that they're happy and you're supporting them, and that you're getting more people involved in saving in gold-backed currency. It's that easy. And they can even exchange it back into currency. But the thing is, we have now the K exchange coming on, so people can actually use it as a means of exchange to start a business. You can also advertise your business in the back office of your website, which you get once you join. So you don't need to build a separate website. You have it. They have a fancy website for you as soon as you get a membership. So I don't know any other business that's so easy to get involved. You don't need to build a website. You can use phone or email or Skype, whichever you like, in order to contact people. You can build a network around the world. You can sponsor and bring people in. They can buy gold. They can actually get in their KARATBAR MasterCard account every Friday, a deposit for what their work has done in the dual team system or unilevel. I mean, this is an ideal business that is so easy to get involved that nobody has to be expert on let's say, a nutritional supplement or a technology you're trying to sell or a business network. You just have to say, do you want to save in gold-backed currency? Do you want to build a network downline of helping other people save? Do you want to eventually use it as a means of exchange instead of credit cards? We'll have KARATBAR cards or kiosks where you can exchange it for fractional reserve currencies, pay off bank debts, or buy or sell services and goods in KARATBAR currency. That's what's amazing about it. So I tell people, I said, this is so easy. If you contact us here at 888-212-8871, you say, I want to know more about KARATBARS, we'll talk to you. If you want videos, go to the top of Nutrimedical, and under the section called Announcements and Notices, you'll see KARATBARS step-by-step process to get paid. You'll see a big sign in black called KARATBARS, and in gold, the KARATBARS sign. And just hit that link. It shows you all kinds of links and information, the Carrot Group team, Carrot recorded PGRs. There's almost like there's no excuse why you can't get involved with this business. And like when I talked to my friend from New Mexico, I could not believe that he says, well, I'm thinking now about getting involved because I want to roll over my pension. I said, well, you don't just roll it over and then you build a business. You build a business by, say, buying a gold package, putting some of your money into it, but you don't have to put all of it. And as I say, make sure that you're trying to insure yourself against the currency being devalued. It's going to be devalued worldwide probably this year. And what will relatively happen is the cost of commodities like food and other things are rising. Despite the fact of gasoline being so low in price, oil, you don't see the price of gasoline dropping out of sight, do you? It may have dropped a little bit, but nothing like it should have, based on all of the financial numbers behind it. There's really no excuse why the price of gasoline is so high. Well, that's the same way. A lot of commodities aren't going to drop in price. What you're going to find is that people are getting squeezed harder and harder. More and more money is being taken out by the government in one tax or another. They're not giving a break to the middle class. There's more regulations that make it very difficult to do a business of any kind. It really is an amazing situation where people need to understand that, we're at the point now where 63% of Americans can't put together $1,000 to pay off a medical expense or a broken down car or a major issue that, say, with their home, if the pipes are broken or something wrong. That's not good. We need to have a middle class where you have savings, where you have pension funds, where you have, a health savings account, so that you can buy equipment and you can write it off against your taxes, so it doesn't cost you anything against your taxes. That kind of system will be set up. And again, we need to transition to a system where eventually we have health wellness clinics, but that's going to take a transition of a decade probably, or at least 8 years. But in the meantime, we need to make sure that healthcare is affordable and doesn't harm businesses. We got to raise the tariffs, but we got to lower the tax rates for corporations and the middle class. We have to do things that are going to get business going so that people can afford to rebuild infrastructure in the country, to have schools that have water fountains that work, to have teachers that are paid properly, and have SWAT team teachers that can be coming into a community like in Detroit so the kids get a chance to move forward. We need to make sure that education is affordable so that basically public education schools and colleges are free for people across the country. On the other hand, you need to raise the money to make these free. They're free to the students, but they're not free to, obviously, the taxpayers and the economy, but you can make sure you can maintain and control costs, and you can also, do bidding to make sure that you've got materials for whatever you're doing that are reasonable. The same way as in healthcare. Healthcare it needs to have open bidding so that doctors and clinics and hospitals can't charge ridiculous amounts of money, and drug companies can't get away with murder, where if you have, a single clinic, say in Kansas, can purchase drugs at 1/10 the cost of the government or the Medicare in a particular state, they're wasting the money. So the same thing goes with KARATBARS. Don't waste your money thinking, well, I'll buy a latte today. If you took, instead of buying a latte, milk, coffee there, you could be putting that in KARATBARS every month, and before you know it, you've built a network downline, and you're getting free gold after 12 weeks. You're getting in your account every Friday deposits for unilevel and bi-level deposits into your account to actually make you wealthier. You're saying, hey, I have dispensable income. I think I'll move it into KARATBARS. We've had some people that say they started moving in a little faster than their relative wants, and said, oh, don't do that. Well, you have to understand, relative, that if the dollar gets devalued 10, 20, 30% or more over the next couple of years, that money's just gone poof. They now are charging what's called negative interest. You put your money in the bank, they actually charge you interest for keeping it in their bank. Is that obscene or what? And at no time in history has there ever been a country where they charge negative interest, where if you put your money in the bank, you have to pay for it to be staying in the bank. Or a negative interest loan where your actual amount of money you owe shrinks because the value of the dollars that you bought originally are not worth the same when you're paying it back. That shows you the underlying structure of the economy is crumbling. And if you don't get out of fractional reserve currency, you're going to suffer. So KARATBARS is the solution. We'll be there in your corner to help you. And we're there to make you succeed so you can't fail. Just give us a call, 888-212-8871, and we're going to help you to get your KARATBAR business going. Back in a moment with hour number 2, Emil de Toffel and Dr. Fred Graves of How to Win in Court. Tim Alexander, Major News. And tomorrow, Bill Salas will be back with the Now Prophecies. And, of course, we're going to hear from the LaRouche Foundation, Harley Schlanger. Amazing updates. Post the second Super Tuesday today, and then the big one next Tuesday is really important. Florida